There is no particular calculation done for Southeast Europe, but for the whole Europe, at European level, it is expected that in first years in this period in which we are, each year we will lose ecosystem services, which loss could be translated into economic terms, in the loss which is equivalent to around 50 billion euros from land-based ecosystems alone, which could be calculated as the equivalent of 7% of annual consumption by the year 2050. This is here graphically illustrated. So, one ecosystem service by one ecosystem service which we will be losing could cause, instead of GDP increase, which was forecasted before the last global economic crisis, that could be caused in a gradual, even rapid GDP decline around year 2050. What's the case study of the region which is hosting you right now? Recognizing the importance of a climate change for sustainable development in general, Europe, and in particular some parts, Southeast European parts, addressed those problems on a recently held pan-European 6th Ministerial Conference Environment for Europe, which was held in 2007, and on that conference, so-called Belgrade Climate Change Initiative was launched. That initiative mainly gives certain policy recommendations which are relevant to the development of a climate change framework action plan, then establishment of one center which will deal with the systematic observations, education, training, public awareness and capacity building, and also developing partnerships were particularly highlighted. Last year, in 2008, ministers of Southeast Europe reached, I would like to say, historical agreement. They supported developed framework action plan, and they decided on a list of joint actions in that respect. Ministers particularly supported the implementation of developed action plan and strengthening established sub-regional climate change related center situated in Belgrade in Serbia. Last year, another important event was organized in this region, namely a scientific conference dealing with a changing climate and changing biodiversity in Southeast Europe was held in June 2008, and all participants of that conference confirmed predictions that Southeast Europe will be severely affected by climate change and proposed development without any delay of a strong and concrete action plan on climate and biodiversity. What's the current response of this region? And that might provoke further discussion of this distinguished panel. In order to combat with negative consequences of a climate change, it is important to enforce biodiversity protection-related legislation, to reduce sources of harm to biodiversity not linked to climate, and very efficiently conserve the existing biodiversity. There is also need to further develop strategic policy documents related to the biodiversity and climate change. As proposal for efficient policy responses, it's important to increase economic growth through increased regional trade and integration, and address sustainability by taking steps to mitigate climate change and to embrace new economic opportunities presented by green technologies. Now it comes to the so needed global deal on climate change, which elements could be the establishment of a global carbon market, technology cooperation and sharing, actions to slow deforestation, and establishment of strong funds which will assist adaptation to the residual climate changes in developing countries. Without any delay, because, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants of this panel, we have just this one planet on which we are sitting at the moment. Reserved one is still not discovered, and it's our full responsibility how we'll manage our planet. Thank you very much for your attention.